Hey guys, welcome back and happy Saturday. All right, guys. Well, we're back to talk about the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City because, as you guys know, this has been a wild week. Yesterday, we had Jen Shah sentencing, and then right before, we had Lisa Rinna exiting the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. And then you had all of the stuff coming out with the alleged FBI investigation of Randall Emmett. I'm like, it's either when it rains, it pours, or it's like a slow news week. And this week was definitely not one of them. But we had Whitney Rose on Watch What Happens Live, and she was addressing Heather Gay's black eye. Everyone's sort of speculating as to what happened. So I just want to get to the bottom of it. And then I want to address some of the comments that came out yesterday when Jason and I did our live on Hot Messy Podcast YouTube channel when it came to talking about Lisa Rinna and Jen Shah. So if you guys didn't catch that, you can go exclusively to the Hot Messy Podcast YouTube channel. Make sure if you watch the video, smash the like button, get subscribed. We have a lot of content coming next month, February. It's starting February and it's not going to stop. We're starting to do more lives on that channel, more videos, more content, more Jason and I, more content creators, more collaborations. It's going to be a lot of fun. But with that, I say, let's jump right in.
It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
All right, guys. So Whitney Rose went on Watch What Happens Live, and she was talking about a few things. She was talking about the reunion and who got caught in the most lies. She was also talking about Heather Gay's black eye. She was talking about her relationship with Lisa Barlow, and I was surprised to see that she was on with Julia Fox. Now, mind you, I have had a few interactions with Whitney when she first started her business. Jason was an ambassador of it, and she's always been super sweet. Even running into her at BravoCon, her and her husband, Justin, were absolutely lovely. And I don't have anything negative to say about Whitney Rose. I really don't. She's never been anything but nice to me. And I also think a lot of people sleep on her. You know, I had Ryan Bailey on for our Real Housewives of Salt Lake City recap, and some people make fun of her because it takes her a minute. You have someone like Jen Shah or Brandy Glanville or Bethany Frankel, and I know these are all totally different personalities, an LVP, a Nene Leakes. You have people who are super quick, like the comebacks are just, whoa, Candace Diller Bassett, another one, and they will read you for filth. And then Whitney, sometimes you notice that she takes a minute to process, but when she processes, she comes back and it's like, you can't really take away from what she's saying. And I don't always know what is the truth and what's not when it comes to any of the cast members. This is not specifically targeted towards Whitney. Now, when she was on Watch What Happens Live, she talked about how her and Lisa Barlow have grown this friendship, and I'm sure it's shocking to her, but she has really grown into this role where they're actually getting along. And that's good because we always need, with the conflict, the resolution, right? But she then was asked about Heather Gay's black eye. Black eye, scratches, all of it. She said, because Heather said, well, maybe it'll be in my book, maybe it won't. And she addressed this because she said, well, you know, I don't believe that she would have told me what would have happened, even if we weren't, you know, on a friendship break. And revealing it in her book, I think she would have to rewrite it to reveal it. She doesn't, you know, she claims that she believes either Jen hit her or she did it herself. This is where I find it to be extremely dangerous. She said, you don't just wake up on a girl's trip and one of your friends has a heinous black eye. I was very concerned for her safety, everyone's safety. It's been a rough year for Heather, but I will love her and care for her no matter what. So she needs help. If she needs help, I'm there. We all tried to get to the bottom of Heather's black eye, but as you saw, she would not budge. Then we saw this article that came out, and it was from Taste of Reality. They posted this. And it says, subject, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City being put on pause. After a whole season, this was the message. And I'm just going to read it to you guys. That way I don't miss a beat. After the whole season with practically no storylines and an even worse reunion that hasn't aired yet, which I did hear that the reunion was pretty lackluster. And again, Jen Shah was not at the reunion, but that doesn't mean it would have been lackluster because she wasn't there. I'm just hearing it was lackluster because there wasn't a whole lot of storylines. Executives seem to be scrambling with the Salt Lake City Housewives. None of the women have received deals for the fourth season, which was supposed to start filming this month, January, and has now been pushed to probably February with no specific date. One producer claims that Lisa Barlow is the only one who's safe, but she's very difficult to cast around. Seems like a major casting shakeup or a Dallas-style no plans to bring it back announcement is imminent. Then someone commented, and maybe this person is close to production, I'm also not sure about this, but they said, this is not true. None of the friends are being asked back. Bravo and the editors are also doing Heather dirty with the black eye edit. The morning that it happened, she told everyone she thinks that she hit it on the sink, but doesn't remember because they were drunk. Production told Heather that they had some footage of someone punching her. I mean, I would remember if I got punched. Punching her and pressured her to pin it on someone. She refused to talk about it to anyone because she didn't know what happened and was going through an internal investigation with Bravo after the incident. She was trying to squash the storyline because of the behind-the-scenes investigation and because the producers had lied about the footage. They're editing her like a villain to save their own asses from lying. All right. Why I find this to be extremely dangerous is because the truth is what happened with Heather is she got drunk. We heard that she partied too hard and she did actually hit her head. They know this. The cast knows this. They know that she wasn't actually punched in the face by any of the other castmates. This is, I don't know if it's going to come out at the reunion. I think it should come out at the reunion. If any place, that's exactly where it should come out because we don't have a lot of content or storylines going into the reunion. We can't talk about the SEC filing. We can't talk about, like, Whitney's not necessarily going to address all of the childhood trauma because I feel like really if she's not telling us what actually happened on the show, I don't know how deep she's going to dive into that. And it's like when Teddy Mellencamp said, you know, she was offered to write a tell-all book, but then she didn't want to because she's okay with sharing her own reality, but she doesn't want to affect her family. So that kind of crosses a line a little bit. And I feel like for Whitney, there are people in her life that she wants to protect as well. She signed up to be on a reality show. They didn't. That's the harsh reality of it. So I don't know how much she's going to share. As for the whole black eye saga, it's like, it is what it is, guys. She was not punched in the face. She was clearly intoxicated, like many of us have been in the past, and she fell. She hit her head. She fell. She hit her head. That's it. Black eye storyline gone. I know Meghan McCain said, I'm not watching anymore. If we don't get to the bottom of this, this is bullshit. But that's it. That's the whole storyline. And then I saw yesterday where we covered the whole Jen Shah sentencing. And I saw some of the messages towards Jason and I, and they were like, you're so far up Jen's ASS and this and this. And I'm like, I don't understand what you guys are talking about. And I'm not saying you guys specifically, but some of the trolls who come into the chat or into the comments, it's like, it's because we did the interview with Jen that everyone thinks that we're automatically not going to be, you know, on the side of justice, right? That's not, you can't tell us how to feel or how we think about something. Yesterday, we specifically said that we have sympathy and empathy for the victims of these fraud schemes. We have sympathy and empathy for the elderly. I said that, you know, my grandparents right now are going through a rough financial time, and I absolutely could not imagine them being taken advantage of in this way. You know, God forbid, my dad used an example today. He's like, God forbid, one of you guys, because I have 11 brothers and sisters, got into an accident after you left a bar and you had 2 drinks, but you blew like right over the limit and you accidentally hurt somebody. I would fight so hard to keep you out of jail. But then on the other side, if I had somebody who was hurt by somebody who was drinking, I would fight so hard to put that person in prison. It's like I get both sides of it. And I'm allowed to get both sides of it. It doesn't mean that I'm necessarily defending anybody. I'm not. If you commit a crime, you do the time. That is the whole justice system, and you have to let it play out. And then yesterday, Jason said, I don't understand what more people want, in the sense that she went up in front of the court. She apologized and she pled guilty. She's now sentenced to 6.5 years in prison. Whether people think that that's enough or it's not, it was up to the judge. The judge decided 6.5 years in prison. And with that, she is missing her kid's graduation, all because of her, mind you. She's missing her kid's graduation. She's missing her anniversaries with her husband. She's missing her son being in medical school. She's missing all of these moments because of something that she did, she engaged in, and she pled guilty to. I don't know what people want me to say more about that, because justice has been served. It is what it is. That came out. I am not a part of the justice system. So when I'm reading the negative comments, I don't quite understand. I'm sitting back like, you think that it doesn't make sense to me. I think that it's sad for everyone. It's sad for the victims. It's sad for the elderly. It's sad for the families of the elderly. I think it's sad for Jen Shah's sons. And people are like, well, Jen Shah should have thought about her sons. Right. Yes, I get that. But her sons, I'm sure, had no idea what was going on. So I can feel empathy and sympathy for everyone. Anyone who watches my channel has to understand I've always looked at every single side of a situation. And I'm also a Cancer, and my heart just breaks for everyone in a situation because I think it's extremely unfortunate, unfair, sometimes selfish. And I think that it's just shit. It's a shitty situation. And I just wanted to get that off my chest because reading some of the troll comments, I was like, what? And then I saw where people were like, Adam, why don't you comment on the fact that Jen went out and celebrated with 20 people for a dinner right after her sentencing? She had her manager in town. She had her attorneys. I'm not defending it. She went to dinner. I don't know if that's celebrating going to prison. I wasn't at the dinner. So I don't also know how people want me to speak on that. You've got to eat. I don't think it was a celebratory dinner. I don't know who's celebrating going to prison for 6.5 years, but I wasn't there. So I don't want to speak on something that I don't necessarily know. And I hope people can understand that. Now, with that, guys, I'm so curious to hear what your thoughts are. So go ahead and comment below. And before you go, don't forget to smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. Don't forget to hit that notification bell. And with that, well, we'll see you next time. Bye, guys. Happy weekend. Take a load off. It's been a wild week. Just have some fun. Live your life. Make some memories. Love you guys.